Hey guys, Ziyall here of the thewownoobchannel. Long time no see. So, as you know, I haven't been making that many videos as of late, and there are actually a couple of reasons to this. Now, number one is I've had something wrong with my throat. It's been killing me basically. It's been hurting like, well, sorry to say the word, but it's been hurting like hell. Every time I swallow, it feels like someone is putting chainsaws in my mouth, and every time I swallow, it's like, ow, it hurts. So, and it's actually been pretty difficult to talk. So it's kind of difficult to make videos with commentary if it's problematic to talk. So you can kind of see where I'm going here. But that's not the only reason. There's actually another reason as well, and that is that, and I'm going to be a little bit personal now. Actually, I'm going to be kind of pretty personal. Now, I'm not trying to gain sympathy or sympathy. That's the word I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to get sympathy or anything like that. I just decided to be, well, you let me into your life basically by letting me steal some of your time every time I make videos, and some of you have shared stuff with me, so I thought, well, maybe it's time for me to share something with you. So here goes. For the past, in this winter, I've had something what you could, I think it's a winter depression. I'm not 100% sure, but what I've felt is, now let's see if I can, I'm actually holding the microphone in my hand, but I'm hoping it's gonna work. It's gonna give me a little bit more of movement, I guess. But so what's happened is the winters up here can be pretty long and pretty dark. Now up here, I'm talking about Denmark. Now Denmark is Northern Europe. Now for those of you that don't know exactly where we're located, I'll find a map and I can show you, so it would be hopefully on the screen. But what I'm going to say is that to our south we have Germany. To our west, you need to take a swim because you're going to get your feet wet. But to your west, we have the coast of Scotland, if I'm correct. Anyway, it's Great Britain. To our north, we have Norway, and to our east we have Sweden. So, and if you take the Americas, it's gonna be, I'm guessing, about southern Canada. So that should give you an idea of our location, how far up or north we are. Which means that our winters can be kind of dark, kind of long. The shortest days is like about 6 hours of daylight, and that's it. So it can be kind of dark, and we don't usually get that much snow, which means when it's dark, it's really dark. So, and I guess it might be a lack of sunlight. It can be, I guess it can be a whole lot of things. But basically what's happened for me is that when we came to the end of the workday, which is, it can be everything from 5 to 9 hours. When I came home, I was just completely tired. I mean, I've not even played the game that much this winter. It's only usually been during weekdays or weekends or when I had a day off during the week or something like that. But I haven't really been playing either that much. There's also a couple of other reasons as to why I haven't been playing that much. That's something that I'm going to talk about a little bit later on. But for now, I haven't been playing as much, and I haven't had the energy. And, well, I think, and especially if you don't even have the energy to play, you're definitely not going to have the energy to make videos. And especially in my work, actually, I don't know if I've ever mentioned what I do, but actually I have a couple of great photos. I didn't do the damage, but in my living, as a living, I am a bus driver, and I love my job. I love driving. I love to meet people. But after a long day of meeting tons of people and selling tons of tickets and driving millions of miles, obviously not millions of miles, but you know what I mean, driving a lot, I've been completely trashed. Now, I want to say that if I can put it in right now, I'm going to show you a picture of a bus that has been trashed. Now, like I said, I didn't do this. It's just where I work, we have a garage that fixes, that specialize in the bodywork. So we get a lot of the buses that are that has major crashes or otherwise been damaged in the bodywork. If it's something big, huge, they come here. So the bus that you're seeing on the picture on the screen right now, it's usually 13.7 meters long. But that one is actually 1.5 meters shorter. It's basically about 1 meter shorter in the front and about 0.5 meter in the back. Or 1.5 meters, that's about, what's that? It's about 4 or 5 feet, something like that. Anyway, the woman driving the bus, I think she cracked a couple of ribs, but there were no passengers injured, and the bus driver, she walked out of the bus herself, so not really that much happened, but it looks kind of nasty. Anyway, so after coming home and working my butt off for hours, I was completely smashed and totally tired. And like I said, often maybe I've gone in to started to play Warcraft, and 30 minutes later said, no, I don't have more energy to do that. And so because of this, I haven't played that much during this winter, and I haven't made that many videos either. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't been making that many videos for over the last, about 6 months. I've been very kind of quiet, but it's definitely going the right way now. The days have become like 2.5 hours longer, probably more, and we're starting to get a little bit more warmth. So hopefully it's gonna go the right way over the next short while. So definitely I'm hoping there's gonna be more videos from me. But anyway, so that's the explanation as to why I haven't been that active. But I'm hoping you're patient and that you're still gonna follow me even though I haven't been that active. So the footage that you're seeing right now, it is actually it was actually recorded with live commentary. If you've been following me for some time, actually before Cataclysm, you would remember that I was talking about making a leveling, not a leveling guide, but just playing, leveling a character from 1 to 85. And then I got the idea of recording the zones, all the zones, the new zones that was remade, the level 1 to 60 zones, and recording all of them and leveling a horde and an alliance, and giving you the possibility of seeing the differences between the storylines from the horde versus the alliance. But I kind of figured out that that would be way too big of a challenge. I mean, there's like, what is it, like 40 or 50 plus zones? That's a lot of work. And I quickly figured out that would be overwhelming. So I never really got more than that. And like I said, then I started to do a couple of other things, and it kind of got pushed in the background. But then I thought to myself, now here recently I got the possibility of putting out videos on YouTube longer than 15 minutes. So I thought to myself, well, this could be the time where I could go back to the original idea of leveling a character from 1 to 85, and even leveling further, as for example Mr. Pandaria, level 1 to 90, for example. Well, not 1 to 90, but 85 to 90, obviously. I'm not going to start over at that point, but we're doing leveling on at that point when new expansions came out. And the idea I got was, well, okay, I can do some live commentary. But the problem with live commentary, especially in a game like World of Warcraft, is that it's kind of not that interesting to watch. I mean, MMOs, or at least a game like World of Warcraft, but I would say MMOs in general have, I wouldn't say one major flaw. It's not a flaw, it's a part of the game, and it's part of the style, and it's part of what makes the world feel big. But, and especially here in the beginning where there's no mounts, movement is so slow. I mean, you know how it is. You get a couple of quests. You run down to wherever the people are that you need to kill or you need to gather or whatever. And it's an intense moment for a moment or two where you're killing whatever. Like now, for example, I'm killing those blood elves, which is kind of fun. We always want to kill horde, right? No, just kidding. But yeah. So right now I'm killing some dudes, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to, and then I'm running back, turning in the quest, maybe getting a quest more, and running back, killing some more, and running back, turning the quest in. There's a lot of running back and forth where there's not really happening anything. For example, personally, I love to watch playing of, for example, shooter games. There's a channel that I follow. A lot of the stuff I don't really look at because I'm not into multiplayer. There's a channel, I'll put a link to them in the video description box. But if you play Battlefield, for example, or Modern Warfare, or they're also doing a lot of zombie videos in some of the Modern Warfare and other games. But in, for example, like Battlefield, there's a cool single player campaign that you could do. It takes like 4 or 5 hours, something like that, to complete. And those are very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of action going on, and you can do, you take the mission and shooting, and there's always stuff happening just about all the time. The only time you sort of like get a break to just relax is during briefings and such between the missions. And especially the guy that does most of the playthroughs with games like Battlefield, for example, he's called Spiderbite. And he's very cool, and he's interesting to listen to, and that's fun. But a game like World of Warcraft, the problem is that between the moments where something is actually happening and the moment where it's kind of slow, well, it's mostly going slow. So to do live commentary, it kind of doesn't work, you know? And I mean, it can work in some situations. For example, I've done some PvP, for example, where I do live commentary, and if you're watching some of the rated battlegrounds or arena matches on the internet, there's a lot of stuff happening there, and that works. I mean, yeah, obviously there are situations where you're moving from one point to another because you're spawning over here, but over there is where the battle is, so that takes like 15-20 seconds to get there maybe, but then there's a lot of action. But that's the same thing with a shooter game, for example, and that's okay. So that works. And again, I did the video, if you I don't know if you've seen it, otherwise I'll put a link to it again, but I did a video of Maggie. And the reason why I made that as live commentary is because, well, I tend to scream like a girl sometimes. I think that's kind of funny. So that can be kind of interesting as well, because it's a few minutes of high intensity action. A lot of stuff is happening, so it's interesting to listen to with live commentary. But take right now, for example, I'm just running from one area of the map to another. Nothing is happening. That is boring to watch. So, and it's difficult to find stuff to talk about. So that's why I sort of... This footage was taken 2 weeks ago, and I actually thought about deleting the character because I felt that this wouldn't work out. But then I thought to myself, well, okay, like I said, I wanted to go back to the original idea, and let's just do post-commentary instead. And there's a lot of news coming from the community. I mean, for example, right now, the hot topic at the moment is the Scroll of Resurrection they can use. If you don't know what that is, it's if someone is inactive, and I don't know how long they have to be inactive before it becomes available. It looks like it's a pretty short time, but if someone is inactive, you have the possibility of pushing a button in your friend area. It kind of seems to work with Real AD Friends at the moment. You can ask them to join up again, and I don't know if there was any benefit. I haven't really read up on anything, so I don't know exactly how it works, but you can get a cool new mount, and that's always a feather in your cap. But the thing is that stuff like that, for example, is something that you can talk about. I mean, you can go on to find the community post, and I could talk about that while the footage is going on in the background, and if there's some interesting comments, I can talk about that, and maybe I could look a little bit on blue post and stuff like that. But the thing is that, first of all, I decided I don't want to make this a scripted thing. I mean, if you're making a guide for a mounts video, for example, you want it to be scripted. You want it to be what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? The relevant. That's the word I'm looking for. You want the relevant information for what you need in order to do this fight. What's the strategy and so on. All that stuff is important, but in a video like this, it's not that important. So that's why I decided to make it like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here in my chair, no script, just opening up my heart, basically. And like I said, I can keep an eye on what's going on with the community and talk a little bit about that at the same time. So, and definitely if you have ideas for topics that I could talk about, and also if you have constructive criticism on how to make this series more interesting or better, or even if you just wanted to say, well, okay, I wanted to level a character as well, I'm gonna follow you and go the same path as I do, you're welcome to do that as well, and let me know. It could be kind of cool if others decided to take this path with me also, and then maybe like say, I don't know how many people would do this, but let's say you could get some people that got to level 85, or I'm guessing that we're gonna have level 90 available before we hit level cap. But so let's say if we got to level 90 and we decided, okay, we're gonna find a specific spot on the map, take a screenshot of your character and send it to me, and then we could do a montage or something like that when everyone is at level 90, or the people that have been leveling with me at level 90. That could be kind of fun. That's just a side note. But like I said, I don't want this to be scripted. So if you have any ideas, you can let me know. I mean, you can send me an email or you post it in a comment. The email address is the one as always. It's the thewownoobchannel at gmail.com. You can also find the email address in the video description box. Something else that can make this series interesting to watch is that you can help me to guide me into where to go next. I mean, right now I'm at Azure Mist Island. I can't pronounce it. But right now, when I'm done with this zone, I'm gonna have two choices. I can either go to Blood Mist Island, which is the second island for the Draenei, or I can go to Darkshore, which used to be the second island for the Night Elves, but it also works nicely as a second island for the Draenei as well. So how about you help me out to choose if I do one or the other. So first of all, what you can do is you can post a comment letting me know if you would like me to go to Blood Mist or if you would like to go to Darkshore. Or if you see someone that has done the comment already, you can rate a thumbs up and whatever, and I can check out what gets the most votes and choose that path. And that will also be possible later on, especially when we get a little bit into the higher levels, because usually there are about 3 paths to choose. Because if you go to Darnassus, the board there is going to usually give me one specific zone to go to. If I go to Stormwind, I'll probably get a second choice, and if I go to Ironforge, I might even get a third choice. So then there's suddenly 3 choices of new places to go. See, that is where you could help me out as well, and that way you could sort of be a part of which path to go to level this character. And what I'll also do, I probably can't put a link to the channel or to the question itself, but I'm going to use Facebook, where I'm going to put out a questionnaire where you can choose if I would go to Bloodmist or Darkshore, or maybe you have a third alternative where you'd like me to go, and you could choose that, and then in the comments of the post you could tell me what idea you would have. And then if someone has already posted the same idea you had, well, then you can just give that a thumbs up or something like that. And that way we could, like I said, that way you could be a part of this just as much as I am. So, like I said, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do this yet. I mean, the footage right here might even look a little bit weird and funky sometimes. And that's because this footage was recorded while me doing live commentary as well. But in the future, obviously, I'm not going to bother about that. I mean, there has been a couple of situations where I actually talked about some of the add-ons that I use. And so you suddenly see me poking around in the interface menu and the add-on menu. And there's not really any reason as to why. Well, there was a reason, because I talked about that specific add-on, for example, but I don't anymore because this is done post-recording. So obviously it's going to be changed, so it's gonna fit a little bit better for the next video. And I can't promise that this is going to be a weekly thing, but what I'll try to do is I'll try to record it during the weekend and use the following week to edit the video and make the recording, the post audio recording, edit the video and everything, and what's it called? Render, that's the word I'm looking for, and render it and everything and have it done so that the next weekend it could be ready to be uploaded. But again, I can't promise anything because obviously there are other things that I have footage for as well. I still have the footage for the LFR, and I still see people that have no clue what they're doing. So even though it is way overdue, I'm still thinking about making that video, and that's gonna take some time to do as well. So there is a lot of stuff that I need to finish off, and I have some. I actually went through some of the files that I have, and I think I throw out like 3-4 hours of old recording stuff. I still had old recording stuff from the PTR or the beta test of Cataclysm. So there's a lot of stuff for me to do, and I'm not gonna say I need to catch up, but there's definitely, I feel like I owe you guys something because I haven't been that active for the last couple of months. So anyway, like I said, if you have ideas, anything that can help me with this new series, throw in a comment, let me know, throw me an email. The more that can help me, the more feedback I can get, the better the series can be. And hopefully this is going to be a rewarding series, not just for me, but for you guys as well. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon, and hopefully the second episode will be ready by next week. So see ya!